I wanted to see how much muscle I could gain in just 30 days of lifting weights and eating real food. I hadn't exercised for over a year, and I just turned 41. So building muscle now was more important than ever, because the older we get, the more muscle we lose. If I don't use it, I'll lose it, and it'll probably get replaced with fat. I started at 141 pounds, which is pretty lean. But how lean? Well, I intentionally did not get a body scan done because most body scans are terribly inaccurate and misleading. When I worked as a personal trainer, I saw body scans tell people that they'd lost 6 pounds of fat but gained 10 pounds of muscle in just 30 days. In reality, they'd probably gained 1 pound of muscle and 3 pounds of body fat. A better way to analyze body fat is to compare yourself to pictures of standard percentages. And I could see that I was starting around 13 to 15% body fat, which is a really good range to start in when trying to build muscle. And if you're curious to know how I've been able to maintain 13% body fat even without doing any exercise for a year, I'll tell you how in just a little bit. But first, let me show you the workouts. I decided to follow a push-pull lower workout split because this meant I could work out 6 days a week and get 30 days of training done in just 5 weeks. Push days were all about upper body exercises like chest presses, shoulder presses, chest flies, and tricep extensions, where you're pushing resistance away from your body. Pull days were upper body exercises like lat pull downs, seated cable rows, reverse flies, and bicep curls, where you pull resistance towards your body. Lower day is all about legs, squats, lunges, deadlifts, leg presses, all the exercises I don't really feel like doing, but the ones that I should be prioritizing. And not just because I've got chicken legs. Your legs have some of the largest muscles in your entire body, so they burn the most calories when you use them, and if they get bigger, it'll boost your metabolism. Now, for every exercise, I did 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 12 repetitions because most research agrees that this is the rep range you want to work with if you want to build muscle. If you want to see my exact workout routine, from the schedule to the exercises and the repetition ranges, I've linked it up for free for you in the description of this video. This workout log will allow you to follow my routine exactly, and you'll be able to follow and track your own progress within your own tracking sheet. But the first thing I learned was that initial week was tougher than I expected. Not only had I not been to the gym for an entire year, I also had my appendix removed 4 weeks before I started. That wasn't a part of the challenge. And I'd forgotten that when you're getting into a new training routine, your body isn't used to exercise. So I couldn't even complete the last set of most exercises because my muscles would give up. And about 3 days in, my entire body was sore. Daily tasks like putting on my clothes and walking up the stairs were painful. But I've been through this before, so I know that it's a normal part of the process. And that initial soreness started to fade by week 2. I started feeling more confident at the gym as I got more familiar with my exercises. And I noticed I was already getting stronger and increasing my weights, which was very motivating. But something really strange happened towards the end of week 2. It had been so long since I've exercised that I'd forgotten how much it increases your hunger. You see, when you perform resistance training, or any other exercise for that matter, you're burning more calories. And burning more calories makes you hungrier, which makes you eat more. So you need to get proper nutrition to fuel recovery and muscle growth. In the past, I've tracked my macros to make sure I was eating appropriate amounts of protein, fat, and carbohydrate. But because I've been away from the gym for so long, I wanted to focus primarily on the habit of getting back into a weightlifting routine. So I didn't track everything that I was eating, because that's a lot of additional work. And I've seen it demotivate people when they try to change everything all at once. What I did do though, was I made sure I was eating at least 150 grams of protein each day. I also made sure I wouldn't gain too much body fat by only eating unprocessed foods, because processed foods tend to have more calories, less nutrition, and they're way easier to overeat than real foods. So, admittedly, my nutrition wasn't as dialed in as it could have been, but I was eating a lot of healthy food. I was getting stronger each day, and I wasn't gaining a ton of body fat, and things were looking really good moving into week 4. My clothes were fitting better. I was waking up with more energy and confidence each morning. My wife started noticing that I was toning up. But that's when something went terribly wrong. It's week 4. Came down with a cold yesterday. So I didn't go to the gym yesterday. I didn't go today. I likely won't go tomorrow. So this is gonna set me back a little bit. That cold turned into a sinus infection that kept me up coughing all night long for a week. And if you can't get proper sleep, or you're fighting a cold or other stress, your body isn't going to recover and you're not going to build muscle. And while this was frustrating and demotivating, it was a good reminder that things never go the way we expect them to. While we can't always control those circumstances, we can control our response to them. And doing something is always better than giving up and doing nothing. So I focused on what I could do, which was to continue to eat healthy foods. And I waited till the cold passed. And 7 days later, I was back in the gym to finish out my 30 days. In the last couple weeks, I decided to increase my weights on every set whenever I could. Something called double progression. So if my rep range was 8 to 10, and I hit 10 repetitions with a given weight, I would increase that weight on the next set. This meant I was pushing my muscles to fatigue for most of my exercises, and that provides a very strong signal to my body to get stronger. And you get stronger by building muscle. So if you're just going into the gym and throwing random weights around and you're not getting any stronger, remember, you have to push yourself in order to grow. That's true for everything in life. But I finally did it. I completed the 30 days and only 1 week behind schedule. So what does 30 days of workouts actually get you? I gained a total of 5 pounds. But as you can see, I'm still around 13 to 15% body fat. So even though I'm now 5 pounds heavier, that's a good indication that I've added muscle and not fat. The fact that I was able to increase my strength by increasing weights on all of my exercises is also a really good indicator that I've built muscle. Plus, you can see from my post-surgery comparison, I definitely look a bit different. Not dramatically different though, because this is a realistic view of what 30 days of weightlifting can actually do. The truth is, it'll likely take 2 to 3 months of consistent training before I really start to see some significant changes. And because the first 30 workouts is really just the starting point. And I promised to share with you how I was able to start at 13 to 15% body fat, even without doing any exercise for a year and having surgery 4 weeks prior to starting. And it's actually quite simple. After losing more than 40 pounds, I've been able to maintain my current body weight by using intermittent fasting and by eating real food more often than I eat processed food. I actually have several videos outlining how I do this, so if you're interested in learning more, be sure to click the videos on your screen next.